It's been a long time. Yeah, the last time I had this was in February, and now it is June. So I'm gonna need to cap off February, March, April, and May. So in February, that's when I started getting. I was pretty proud. I hit my 90 days, and then I wanted to get more out of my workouts, and so I was trying to talk to a guy at Planet Fitness, and he was talking to me about pre-workout. So I decided I started doing creatine and all this other stuff, and I started looking. So I actually started making my own pre-workout, and then I switched over to free weights. So heard since I was finding my looking for pre-workouts, I went to GNC, and this guy told me that this place called Crunch just opened up. So I switched gym memberships to Crunch and started getting to free weights. So I did pretty well, honestly. So day one of working out with free weights again, I was able to bench 255, and that's it was 10 pounds less than my record back in high school, which was 265. And I stopped drawing in February because I was mainly focusing on my lifts. One day I wanted to test my endurance. So I actually worked out for 7 hours. I just did this series for push, and I just went from exercise to exercise over and over again for 7 hours. It was crazy, and I had so much muscle fatigue. I started off with benching with 265, and then I couldn't do 155. So we're slowly bleeding out money, just because we're eating too much fast food. Takai and I, it's really hard, because we haven't figured out our storing food setup. So a lot of times we have to go eat fast food. I also was like, alright, if I'm gonna do Vanlife, I can't carry all these things. I have to start getting rid of things that I don't need in my storage unit. So I sold my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, my airsoft guns, and it's still cold. It was like February was so cold, and also we had like this couple winter storms that were apparently the worst in 75 years, and it was still like negative 14 degrees, and we had like 9 inches of snow. And Dikaia and I were pretty much we were like, okay, we're gonna stick to this van life. Dikaia is definitely taking care of Dikaia definitely makes it harder because I always have to think about her, especially when I go try to go to stores, or I have to like plan about food and work, and have her doggy daycare because they were closing for the severe weather. So I had to figure out what to do because I still had to go because I still had to try to get things done, and I didn't want to leave her in the car, and I wasn't able to find and the doggy daycare wasn't open. Also, since I was doing my switching to free weights, I wanted to figure out what were my maxes for when I started. So I did my bench, my squat, and I was learning how to deadlift. I got it up to, I think I started off at 285, and in a couple of weeks or something like that, I got it up to 325. And I was I was doing it, and I was 2 inches away from locking out, but my back gave out, because this was kind of where I was kind of new to bracing, so I lost my strength, my core strength, and my back bent, and I was like, dude, it's just 2 inches. So I pulled it through, I got it, but my back hurt so bad afterwards. And actually, the next day I woke up with, I had back pain, but I also woke up with numbness in my hand. So I thought I had like a disc bulge or a herniation or something, but now I think it was just a sprained back with carpal tunnel. And I was just getting that from probably benching or something, gripping so much with the weights. So I've been working around the injury for about 4 to 8 weeks. So I was like recovering, and I was just doing all these exercises that didn't put any axial load on my spine, and I kind of maintained my deadlift. It did pretty well when I started doing it again. So in that time I was injured, I was just working on my form, technique, learning. I was like doing a lot of research. It was so funny. I learned so much from being injured, and I realized like leg press I was doing wrong because I was trying to get the depth, but then or try to get try to get deep in it, but my lower back was rounding up and I was overstretching my back and my spine. So pretty much eventually I was gonna hurt my back somehow. But now I know a lot more. And I kind of during that era, I was kind of I changed up my program. Oh, actually, I've been spending so much time in planning out my program and my workouts and stuff. Eventually, I got to this idea about 2 weeks of hypertrophy and around like 15 reps, and then I slowly transitioned it to 1 week of strengthening where I would increase all the weights up to I reach my 5 rep max. So I'd build the muscle and then strengthen the muscle. In March, this was like a very I guess I had a limited amount of recording and document. So all I remember is it was still snowing, and I started to lift heavy again, which was great. And I was focusing on just recovering and learning form, and didn't really do much else in March. So pretty much I was just continuing out February's plan. And April, it was little Dikaia baby's birthday, so I made her some chicken. She loves my cooking. And then we also went to Mission Barbecue, and I got her some brisket. My little baby also, she loves cheesecake. I didn't know she likes cheesecake, but she liked it more than the meat. I was so shocked. And then I was finishing up my bulking here in April, and I wanted to stop bulking and work on my cut. So I was planning out my 2 week cut. I wanted to cut down and try to get as lean or shredded as I could, which is being shredded was unrealistic, but I was trying to get more lean. And so I cut down my calories down to like 2,000 a day, and I honestly didn't really, in my opinion, didn't look better or change too much of my physique. I just looked smaller, and I filled up my clothes. All my clothes were getting like loose. My shirts, my pants, and I lost 12 pounds, and 12 pounds total. 8 pounds of it was in a 2 week cut, and 4 pounds was from the 3 day water fast where I was only drinking water. And I wanted to see when I hit 6 months. I wanted to see how my physique, how much it changed. And so I was going for aesthetics, and also I wanted to see how much stronger I was. So I was also going for my powerlifting numbers. So I wanted to see my bench, my squat, and my deadlift. But since I was cutting, my strength was going down, so it wasn't really a match. But I wanted to do both because 6 months it was a big deal for me. And it was funny because I was like, okay, so let me plan this all out. I was setting it all up. I was thinking, okay, so if I have to do my max outs, I want to do a heavy load to practice my lockouts, but then I want a few days to recover. So when I was doing it, I was like, okay, so but I also had to time it with my cutting because I didn't want to do it during my 3 day water fast because then I'd really lose my strength. So I was doing it, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, wait, why am I going so hard till failure and practice? I mean, I know I'm supposed to practice this so I can make sure I can lock out my max out, but then I looked at the number. I was like, "Oh no, I'm not supposed. I'm supposed to max out tomorrow. I messed up my program. I messed up." So so I was going super hard, and then the next day I had to do my max out. So I said, "Fuck it, whatever." And I was kind of worried. I was like, "Dude, I was doing dips with like 3 plates on, and I was going to failure for 3 sets, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able." So I was like kind of freaking out because I really wanted to be able to bench press 315 with 6 months of training. Because I always wanted to bench press 315, and well, not always. I would say I wanted to get back to my original strength, and then after I got back to 265, the next goal was 315. I never thought about like benching 315 until I saw how strong I was getting, and so I got it, and it went up pretty clean. I didn't have much issue with it. I just like really freaked myself out, but my deadlift, I was kind of sad about it. I thought I could do like 375, but I think I was just overworking because I think a few days before I did 400 hex bar squat or squat deadlift, and I think my body was just fatigued from that. So I did the deadlift at 325. So I'm pretty much back where I started when I broke my back. But the good thing was like I made a full recovery, and that was the important part. For squat, I couldn't get past parallel for my whatever it was, and I was already super fatigued from deadlifting and cutting, and I just didn't feel safe enough. And like I've been working on my ankle mobility. My ankle mobility is actually really bad ever since I injured my ankle, which was the thing that stopped me from working out a couple of years ago when I tried to get back into weightlifting. So 6 days afterwards, I gained 13 pounds. Actually, I was like 181 or something. I was heavier than after the cut. So pretty much all I did was I bulked, I cut down, lost a lot of muscle, and then replaced it with a bunch of fat. so, so oh, that was so funny. And I had to move out of my storage unit. I had to switch to different locations because I was experimenting with laundry, and I was doing my laundry in there, hand washing and seeing. I actually had some of the kids. The kids were like thanking me and begging me, and telling me how much they loved doing my laundry. I actually brought it in because I was running late to work one day, so I brought my gym bag, and they were asking me what that bag was. I was like, "It's my laundry bag," and I was so they were really curious and wanted to know more. So I showed them how I would done my laundry in it. So I actually brought it in. They were asking if they could do my laundry, and I was like, sure. So I think they did like 4 loads, and then the clothes they got that they washed, I put in dramatic play for them, so they could dress up like me and play. It was so funny. Anyways, in the month of May, I was getting really serious about my lifts, and I kind of want to actually bench in the bench, squat, and deadlift in the 400s now, while also being aesthetically lean, and have a good physique. And so that's pretty much my goal with that. I've been getting really serious about my lifts, and it's also getting hotter. So it's a new challenge instead of being cold, and I knew we were gonna have to face it eventually, and this is the hard part. And I've also been getting into TikTok. I've been actually enjoying it. And so now I have 6 main lifts. I simplified all my workouts. Instead of having all these things, I just do squats, chin-ups, bench, deadlifts, overhead press, and power cleans. And I've been struggling with my cutting. I've been like losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, back and forth. but I've been looking at myself in the mirror, and I've been starting to look really big, and starting to look really good. I just want to get a little leaner. And I've been actually a lot of people actually at the gym have been asking me for advice and talking. I've been talking to a lot of them, and I actually have my first trainee, so I'm gonna hopefully help him out. And I've been over my new program. I've been overtraining my deadlift and squats, so I had to do a deload. So hoping in a couple weeks in June, this month of June, I'm gonna be hopefully gonna be cute, getting real strong, and that's the plan. And Dakaya and I have been going to the parks all the time. She's been having a lot of fun running around, being active, and really enjoying our outdoor time. All right, well, thanks for watching.